Welcome to this episode of Wreck-It Recruiter. Katie McConnell Olson here, your resident Wreck-It Recruiter, here to talk about how you can just screw up everything related to hiring and recruiting and then complain about it. And today we're talking about how to hire your first internal recruiter. Brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and GrowthWise Search Partners, providing human capital and hiring solutions for rapid growth companies throughout the United States. All right, so you want to hire an internal recruiter for the first time. You're tired of using schmucky third-party recruiters that don't understand your business and aren't generating any results and cost too much, right? I get it. They're terrible. So you're going to hire an internal recruiter. So if you're lucky enough to have somebody apply because you're following a host and post strategy, since the whole reason you're hiring an internal recruiter is because you don't have an internal recruiting process, let's say the right person comes knocking on the door and there they are, and they are in the chair on your first day. Great. Now what do? Well, there are kind of two things that happen when you hire an internal recruiter. You've got your strategy piece and you've got your execution piece. So what's important is that you expect one person to do all of that stuff. Better yet, if you don't test for skills ahead of time and you don't ask them if they've built process or if they've run execution. Just hope for that unicorn person that can do all the things, right? And we've talked about this 1,000 times, but hope is a great business strategy. It's way better than planning. And also, it's way better than communication. Just hope that you found a unicorn that can set up strategy and process for you with a new department and that can also run execution for you. Now, odds are unicorns aren't real. So something probably is going to break, right? So we've been over this 1,000 times. When stuff breaks, step one is get pissed off about it. Get mad. It's so annoying that this isn't working out how you thought it was going to. And you haven't given any guidance, which makes it even more annoying because you're paying them a ton of money for them to figure it out on their own, right? So then the next thing that you want to do is just bury your head in the sand. We talked about this before in other episodes. I can't say this enough. Don't communicate. That's the best way to wreck everything. You're welcome. Just stick your head in the sand and kind of ignore the problem for a little while. Meanwhile, get more and more and more passive aggressive. Now, you might start to poke around and start asking questions about why you're not seeing results, but don't get super clear on those questions. You don't really want to know if it's lack of process or maybe you made a bad hire. That would be terrible. And that's not you. You know, it's not you. It's definitely the other person that you hired. It's definitely the internal recruiter. Again, we're going to go back to getting them mad and annoyed. At this point in time, you might be inclined to tag in an outside consulting firm. You know, I know someone that does that may be able to help you set up a process, but don't do that. We would not want to get this person set up for success and empower them with the tools. Now, if they are more of an execution person, the last thing you want to do is bring in someone to set up strategy and process and set them up for success. That's a surefire way to get things back on track and not sabotage. And that's not what we're here today to talk about. We're talking about sabotage, right? So don't tag in that consultant for help. Basically, just let them tank. Once things don't work out, eventually you're going to get so disgruntled that you're going to want to sit them down and say, look, we're spending a lot of money on your salary and you're not generating results, right? And they're going to say, look, I don't have the tools I need to do my job, or blah, blah, blah. Or maybe they're going to give some excuse like, you know, this is actually a different skill set. You know, the strategy piece, the execution piece are a little bit different. I'm not getting the communication I need. I don't have any tools. There's no ATS platform. I don't have the tools I need to effectively execute. Blah, blah, blah. Excuse. At the end of the day, you're both going to decide it's not a match. You didn't do what you needed. I didn't. You know, you don't feel like I gave you what you needed. Kaputskis, terminate the relationship. Now, from here, you've effectively decided this internal recruiter is not very good and we need a new one. So you're going to go back out there and you're going to make a hire again and you're going to do the exact same thing again. And that right there is the surefire way to tank bringing your recruiting in-house for the first time. Okay, so some of that may have resonated with you. Maybe you're thinking about bringing recruiting in-house. Maybe you have, and you're kind of in the midst of this right now. Let's talk about it. To take a deeper dive into how GrowthWise can help you optimize your hiring, be it externally sourced, or you're bringing your recruiting function in-house, or maybe fine-tuning it, let's talk click on the link in the description and we'll be glad to help you. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. See you next time.